إلا اضطررت لإيجاد شخص قادر على القتال.
Okay. Enemy unit on the move. Enemy activity. Enemy
Commander reporting for duty.
Enemy troop. Enemy tank is inbound. Over.
Enemy helicopter spotted.
You got it. Enemy units on the move. Enemy units on the move.
Enemy car spotted. Enemy car spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry.
Enemy activity. Do you copy?
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
UAV
Snipers
online.
on hostile forces
infantry
spotted.
spotted.
Over. Snipers on enemy troops identified. Snipers on hostile snipers on perimeter. 10-4.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy forces over. Hostile forces spotted.
Enemy snipers spotted.
Snipers on our perimeter. Snipers spotted. Over. Enemy forces over.
Enemy snipers spotted.
Enemy forces spotted. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Enemy troops identified. Over. Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Hostile on the road. Hostile vehicle spotted. Over.
Enemy infantry. Enemy forces
Enemy troops identified. Do you copy?
Online and transmitting.
Enemy troops identified. Do you copy?
Enemy forces spotted.
Requesting reinforcements. Over. Enemy forces snipers on our perimeter.
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Hostile forces.
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy helicopter spotted. Enemy helicopter spotted.
Enemy helicopter.
Enemy helicopter spotted.
UAV transmitting on this mark.
Sniper. Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy activity. Enemy forces. Over. Enemy forces. Over. Enemy forces. Over. Enemy activity. Do you copy? Hostile forces. Over.
Enemy forces spotted.
We need repairs here. Enemy units on the move.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
Do you copy?
UAV
Hostile
transmitting.
forces spotted. Over.
Enemy
vehicle. Hostile
UAV surveillance
spotted.
spotted.
Snipers on our perimeter.
Negative. UAV already
Hostile
airborne.
forces spotted. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Hostile sniper spotted. Hostile infantry spotted.
Enemy forces spotted.
Enemy activity. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy?
Enemy car spotted.
Hostile infantry spotted. Over.
Spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
Hostile forces. Over. Enemy activity. Do you copy? Snipers on our perimeter. Snipers on our forces. Enemy forces. Over. Snipers on our perimeter. Snipers on our perimeter. Hey,
Enemy car spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
We need reinforcements. You copy?
Spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy forces spotted.
Hostile forces spotted. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy forces. Sniper spotted. Over. Do you copy? Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Enemy forces. Over. Enemy forces.
Enemy
activity. You copy? Roger that.
Enemy helicopter spotted. 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 Artillery, your area.
Sniper. Hostile forces
Enemy
spotted.
helicopters. Enemy helicopters spotted.
Enemy car spotted.
Transmitting on this mark.
Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy units on the move. Sniper! Enemy units on the move.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy helicopters. Enemy helicopters. Enemy helicopters spotted. Enemy helicopters spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces
Sniper spotted. Over.
Enemy helicopters spotted.
Hostile infantry.
Enemy helicopters spotted.
Enemy units on the move.
UAV online.
Hostile chopper. Over. Enemy units on the move. Roger that. Enemy activity. Do you copy? Requesting ammunition. Snipers on our perimeter. Snipers on our perimeter. Enemy forces. Over. Enemy forces. Enemy trooper.
Enemy armor spotted. Enemy sniper spotted.
Enemy units on the move.
Enemy forces spotted.
Enemy forces spotted. Units on the move. Hostile forces spotted. Enemy
armor spotted.
Enemy trooper. Hostile forces spotted. Over.
UAV online and transmitting.
Okay.
Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy
Sniper!
forces spotted.
Enemy forces spotted. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Hostile armor sighted. Over. Enemy forces. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Spotted.
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
Roger that. Enemy units on the move. Enemy forces spotted. Over. Okay. Enemy units on the move. Enemy vehicle. Hostile forces spotted. Over.
Online and
Sniper.
transmitting.
Hostile on the road. Enemy car
Enemy
spotted.
forces
Enemy units
spotted.
on the move.
Enemy
Hostile armor sighted. Over.
Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy
Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy forces snipers on our perimeter. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Snipers on our perimeter. Enemy units. Snipers on our enemy forces. Over. Hostile armor sighted. Hostile sniper spotted. Over. Enemy activity. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy forces. Over. Hostile forces. Enemy forces. Enemy boats. Enemy boats. Hostile forces. Enemy forces. Over. Enemy forces. Enemy units. Enemy APC. Do you copy?
Enemy helicopter spotted.
Enemy units on the move. Do you copy?
Enemy
Enemy
helicopter
troops
spotted.
identified. Do you copy? Enemy units on the move.
Enemy helicopter spotted. Enemy helicopter spotted. Enemy helicopter spotted.
Roger that.
Enemy
spotted. Over.
Enemy helicopter spotted.
I owe you one. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy forces. Hostile forces spotted. Over.
Enemy forces spotted. We've lost control. Enemy forces spotted.
Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Enemy forces.
Enemy infantry spotted.
Hostile forces. Enemy forces. Over.
Enemy infantry
Enemy
spotted.
forces. Enemy units on the move.
Enemy forces spotted.
Hostile forces spotted. Over. Sniper.
Online and transmitting.
Enemy forces. Over. Hostiles on the ground. Enemy units on the move. Enemy units on the move. Over. Hostiles on the ground. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy troops. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy?
Enemy forces. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces spotted.
Thanks. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Hostile infantry spotted. Over.
UAV online and transmitting.
Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Hostile infantry spotted. Enemy units on the move. We got hostile enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy troops identified. Do you copy?
We've lost control of an outpost.
Enemy forces snipers on our perimeter. Enemy forces over. Enemy forces over.
Enemy infantry. Enemy infantry spotted.
Do you copy?
All clear.
Hostile
Position under
forces spotted.
control.
Over.
UAV is bingo on fuel. Transmission ending.
Damn it, sorry.
Enemy forces spotted.
Hostile forces. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy?
Online and transmitting.
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted.
Good deal, thanks. Enemy forces. Hostile forces spotted.
Position
Over.
under control.
Clear.
Out. Position under control.
Out. Enemy forces. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Over.
Enemy
Hostile forces spotted. Over.
Enemy sniper. Enemy
Hostile
sniper.
forces spotted.
Defend
Over.
this
Position. Hostile sniper spotted. Over. Enemy troop.
Enemy infantry
Enemy
spotted. Enemy forces spotted.
Over.
We've lost control of an outpost.
Enemy armor spotted.
We've lost control of an outpost.
Enemy armor spotted. Hostile armor sighted. Over. Enemy units on the move.
Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy APC spotted. Forces over. Enemy APC spotted. Enemy troop. Enemy tank is inbound. Over.
Enemy forces
All
over.
clear.
Position under
Enemy
control.
units on the move. Enemy forces
Sniper
over.
spotted.
Hostile forces
Enemy
spotted.
forces
Over.
spotted.
Snipers on our perimeter.
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces spotted.
Enemy forces. Hostile forces
sniper
spotted. Over.
spotted.
Enemy vehicle.
UAV transmitting on Bismarck.
Hostile forces spotted. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Over.
Enemy infantry spotted. Spotted.
Enemy activity.
Enemy car spotted. Enemy car spotted.
Hostile forces. Enemy forces.
Enemy car spotted. Enemy forces spotted.
Hostile vehicle spotted. Over.
Enemy car spotted.
I owe you one.
Transmitting on Bismarck.
Hostile forces spotted. Over. Hostile sniper spotted.
Enemy infantry spotted.
Snipers on our perimeter.
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces spotted.
Enemy forces. Enemy forces. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy units on the move. Sniper spotted. Enemy troops identified.
Enemy infantry spotted.
UAV online and transmitting.
Enemy units on the move.
Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy units. Enemy forces. Over. Enemy forces. Enemy activity. You copy.
Enemy forces. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces. Enemy forces spotted.
Enemy troops identified. You got it. Over. Hostile sniper spotted. Over. Activity. Do you copy?
Enemy infantry spotted.
Snipers on our perimeter.
UAV online.
I'm on our road. Enemy force sniper over. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy?
Enemy sniper spotted.
Enemy units on the move. Activity. Do you copy? Snipers on our perimeter.
Enemy infantry spotted.
Sniper! Hostile forces spotted. Over. Snipers on our perimeter. Enemy units on the move. Enemy activity.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy
Hostile sniper spotted. Over. Snipers on our perimeter.
UAV online and transmitting.
Hostile APC. Enemy APC spotted. Enemy hostile sniper spotted. Over. Enemy units on the move. Thanks, champ. Enemy activity. Enemy units on the move. Okay. Hostile sniper spotted. Over. Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Hostile APC.
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy troops identified. Do you copy?
Bismarck.
Enemy
Hostile enemy troops identified.
Enemy forces spotted.
Hostile forces spotted. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Need ammo.
Outpost is being overrun.
Hostile forces spotted. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy forces. Over. Enemy units on the move. Sniper. Enemy activity. You copy. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Sniper. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Enemy activity. Do you copy?
Enemy infantry. Enemy forces spotted.
Enemy forces. Over. Hostile forces.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces.
Okay. Hostile forces.
Enjoy. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces cleared and under control.
Enemy forces. Requesting ammunition. Over. Enemy forces. Over. On the move. Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Over.